So what the hell? Oh,
TikTok. You're talking about
well, I
something
saw
about
this
TikTok.
TikTok the other day, and it really touched me because it's kind of hit me at home. You know how we always talk about people don't really care about things until it hits you, until it comes close to home, something like that.
Yeah.
Well, this TikTok actually hit me close to home, where I have to really focus for a little bit. I had to put the phone down and just woosah because it was very powerful for me, and I could tell you why. But I want you guys to watch the video, and I'm gonna share it with you because this is something personal to me, and I'm gonna share it with you guys. So watch the video, and we'll talk about it when we come back.
My son is biracial. He is black and white, and he lives in a house full of white people. The person he calls dad is also white. That is his father. That is who has raised him since he was a baby. He is now 7. If you are biracial or African American and you have the time, please watch this and leave any feedback you might have, because I don't know what to do. So my son looked at me and said, serious as a heart attack, he said, "I wish I was white with straight hair." And it floored me. And I said, "What did you say to me?" And he said, "I wish I was white with straight hair, Mom. What do I do to do that?" And I started crying immediately. Because on what earth does my baby boy feel like he's different or should be white when he is fucking beautiful? I mean, my son is beautiful, okay? And he said, excuse me, we live in a county where it is predominantly white. We live in the South as well, so it's country. Not a lot of biracial children or black children in his school. Very few. So he said, everybody at school is white. Some have curly hair, but they're all white. They all look the same. They're all alike. Everybody in the house is white. They're alike. But I'm this boring brown color. And I think that's why nobody likes me. I said to him, "You are perfect. God made you the way he made you because you are a beautiful brown boy who should love himself. You are beautiful." And he said to me, "Mom, you don't get it. You're white. I'm brown." And that's when I realized that as a white mother of a biracial child, I can't be there for him on some things. I can be there as much as I can, but he knows I don't understand. And what the saddest thing about this is that I've never taught my son about racism. I haven't had to yet. And I haven't. And I should have probably before, but I haven't. And I haven't taught him about anything. So he learned racism on his own and is ashamed of what he looks like. And that is the sad fucking fact of all of this. So please help me if you can. Thank you.
Hello, you hear me?
Yep. We're up.
So, you gotta feel for her because she generally can't really help her son. And like she said, she's white, so she don't really understand what this little boy gonna go through. Now, this thing hit me in 2 different levels. One, because I grew up in a predominantly black neighborhood, so I was too light to be black, and not dark enough to be, not white enough to be white. I was stuck in between both ethnicity. So I was called everything from white bread and chicken shit hockenberry. That was like one of the main things, which I hated. And then at a certain particular point, I was called Goya, which is another slur that's just ridiculous. But I didn't quite fit in nowhere. It took me a long time to understand my heritage that I'm Puerto Rican, and it's a there's a actual culture to it. So I was pretty much raised in hip hop culture, but that didn't hit me till later on. When I first saw that, it reminded me of my daughter because when I was young, I would say younger, but back in my driving days, when my daughter was coming up. Me and my friend Patrick Cruz, shout out to Patrick Cruz, we hosted, we was coaching the softball team. So our daughters were on the softball team. That's pretty much how I met Patrick Cruz. Our daughters were on the softball team. He needed a coach, and so I was kind of swindled into it. You know he did. And one day my daughter came up to me and she's like, "Daddy, why am I so dark?" Because everybody on the team is Puerto Rican. And she, being that her mother's black, in summertime, her skin complexion gets really dark. And compared to other girls on the team, it was like one of the darkest. It was her, and it was maybe one other black girl on the team. And she didn't like that she was darker than everybody else. She hated it. And man, that thing hurt when she told me that. It's like, "Daddy, I don't like my skin color." So my first reaction was I was angry. Like, why would you not like yourself like that? But then I realized that she's surrounded by a bunch of light-skinned Puerto Ricans. And so she felt left out, different. And they probably were saying shit, but I didn't hear any of it. But they probably were saying things behind her back or whatever. But I don't even remember what I had to sit down and tell her. But that hurt. It hurt realizing that, she really didn't like her skin. And I'm like, you half Puerto Rican and you half black. So you're really extra strong if you think about it. There's two different cultures that are really strong in what they believe in and how they are. So I'm like, in my eyes, you have a leg up on people. But I don't know if I told her that, So, I mean, when I saw that TikTok, I was like, this is a real situation that a lot of people have to face and don't know where to turn to. How do you sit down and you talk to your child about something like that? Especially like in her situation, she's a white lady raising a black kid, because no matter how I look at it, his father could be black or whatever, or his mother could be black, and he's being raised in a white household. When them police stop him, he's going to be black first before anything else. So that's the wrath he's going to feel. And he was kind of right when he said, you can't really teach. You can't teach him nothing. But in her case, she would have to bring him to family that's black. And they have to be close to it. And that's what brings me back to my daughter, because my mom was supposed to be the one who teach her the Spanish side of the family, because I really don't know Spanish. I'm a New York Rican, and most of us don't speak Spanish. You know what I mean? But I wanted my mom's, when she was being born, I already told my moms, you're going to have to teach her Spanish. I want you to teach her Spanish. I want her to know Spanish when she grows up. She has to learn her side of the family. But my mom's decided to go to another state, and then that kind of, I had held that against her. There's a whole bunch of shit that went down behind that, but yeah, that's a serious subject, man.
Yeah, it is for the child, but as a parent, I would feel that you would take the initiative to learn the culture. If you're marrying, like a white to a black, or black, whatever it is, you take what do you call it? Like you want to learn from each other's cultures. and put that into the child. Like teach the child. Basically, you just want to teach the child to be a good person. That's the way I would see it. It doesn't matter the color. You just teach them. You just want to be a good person. Everything else that I mean, if you want to teach about history, if depending where they're from, if they're black, you want to teach them some of the history so they learn where they're coming from, where the culture is from. If you're white, But I think there's something that both parents maybe. She was a single parent. Did you say she's a single parent?
No, she said she lived with some guy. I guess the guy's a white guy too, but I guess she had a kid by a black guy. But the child lives with her and him. And the kid came out with brown skin. So the kid came out, with a dark complexion.
Yeah, so it's like her ex then.
Either that or a fling or something, but either way, the kid staying with her, and the kid's growing up in a predominantly white neighborhood.
So then, you have to bring him around more people that he's gonna feel comfortable, so he could learn. Yeah,
but she has a problem because most of the places that he's in is white, so he's gonna face that most of the time, almost all his life. I was lucky enough that my daughter, it was just a softball team, but still, I mean, they're all cool now and everything, but it was the beginning when she felt that kind of way. It's like, wow, you don't think about that.
Did she feel that kind of way, like towards you as she was growing up? Like she was maybe around a lot more darker skin. You're looking whiter skin. Like a question like, Daddy, how come your skin is lighter than mine, or how come I'm darker than you? Does anything like that ever come up?
If she did, she never brought it up. If she did, she never brought it up.
So they just look at how they're different with their peers.
But then I didn't really celebrate my culture like that. Like, I don't have Puerto Rican flags and none of that stuff. I don't listen to Spanish music, so there was really no difference in our household. Everything was as a African American culture. That's all I know. It wasn't until later in life where I started to embrace my own culture. Like, I am Puerto Rican. I should be speaking Spanish. I should be, learning the culture. I mean, every now and then we go to the Puerto Rican Day Parade to celebrate like that, but that was pretty much the gist of it. I flaunted it all over the place. Like people hear me in my songs and they, I thought you were black. Like,
so it's you were kind of in the same situation yourself then.
Yeah. I grew up
as a child. You was growing up in the black community, but you was like Puerto Rican, but you never was taught that side of your culture. Your other half.
Nope. I learned Spanish. I learned curse words first because that's what my mom taught me. She was angry at us. She cursed at us in Spanish. So I know the curse words, but both my moms and my pops speak Spanish fluently. But they didn't raise me speaking Spanish. They raised me speaking English. So I used to fail Spanish in class. I didn't care for it. It's not like they forced it upon me. Like I was going to do to my daughter, because I told my moms when she gets my daughter, speak only Spanish to her. I wanted my daughter to, my daughter, she knows Spanish and she knows Korean.
No.
She knows Spanish and Korean.
Okay.
Whatever. As long as she knows something. But she knows that she's half Spanish now and she's half black. But she hangs with the mostly American family, African American family. She don't hang with my side of the family because we're too far apart. And the ones that she should have hung with is no longer here. So, but yeah, man, that's a tough subject. Like, what do you do, man?
She's in a tough spot. The only thing obviously, like you said before, bring her around more of that culture so that he, make more friends with kids that are going to make him feel comfortable, or else you just teach him that it doesn't matter. Maybe as he gets older, like you said you did, as you got older, you started embracing that other side of your culture.